Just one man's opinion. Please subscribe. Hey there, guys. How's it going? It's been a little while. It's been kind of a busy day today. I've gotten a lot of housework and things done that has been needing to get done for a while, so I figured I'd pop on here and say hello. And I mean, like I said, as far as the political realm, there's not a ton going on out there, except for I heard today that Trump was starting to drain that swamp that everyone was complaining about not getting done. And sounds like he's starting to get it done. I think what happened was with the Russian collusion, it tied his hands for a while. Then with the Ukraine scandal, once again, that there's not much you can do, when you're trying to defend yourself. Now I think he's back on the offense again like he was last time after the Russian scandal was over. And he's going after these people that are traitors to our country. And he fired 70 people out of the White House. And I think this is the beginning of it. I have a prediction. I think here in the next, I don't know, like before I said, next 6 months, you're going to see his Trump's name dragged through the mud. And he's the worst guy on the planet. And it's a bad thing. And he's horrible. And that's all you're going to hear. There's not going to be a lot of proof behind it. There's going to be a lot of hearsay. There's going to be a lot of accusations. But haven't people figured out by now? He's been in office now for 3 years. Every investigation that we come across, there's just no evidence. It's not that he's able to slip out on a technicality. It's just there's no real evidence to say he's done something wrong. I mean, aside from being kind of a dick on Twitter, that's it. He likes to go around the country and do these his rallies. It's what he likes to do more than anything. I heard a story that he had told Junior, his son, Mike Pence. He told Pence that Mike can just run stuff. He'll go around the country and just do the rallies, Now, before I go any further, guys, don't forget, subscribe to my videos. Make sure you hit the little subscribe button. Where is it? Right there? Yeah, subscribe button. And tell your friends, please share me, okay? Now, whether that's good, bad, or otherwise, it's still who the guy is, and it's what he's about. So there's my number one prediction was the slander that he was going to have. My number two prediction is we're going to see a lot of purged Democrats and possibly Republicans that are just bad people all around. Just they're not good people. They're not for the American. They're for themselves and their own interests. I think we're going to see a purge of some of the possibly big corporations. I think you might see some of those guys have some issues. Trump's in it to do what he said he was going to do and drain the swamp. And he's going to find out where the money's coming from, or going to do his best. He's only got now it looks like he's only got 5 years left to get it done. And these things take a lot of time and a lot of resources. So they spent so much money doing all this dumb stuff to try to pin him in some, I don't know, wacky wild goose chase just to get bad publicity enough for him to lose the election, which I doubt is going to happen. But there's a story that Bloomberg is going to buy his way in. He spent $400 million already on campaign ads, and he's campaigning mostly like YouTube and social media and stuff. And I heard he's hired out a few of those like Instagram stars to kind of throw memes out about him to try to make himself cool. Just stupid, but they're doing it and they're selling out because there's a lot of money in it. $400 million in like 4 months or something like that. That's a lot of money. There's also speculation that if he does win the election, that his running mate is going to be Hillary Clinton. And the problem with that is it's a way for her to basically buy her way into, he buys it, but through him, they buy their way into the White House, and then he just turns it over to her. So, I mean, it's one way for her getting back. And if you listen to what she's been saying the last couple of years, it's been, I should have won that. I should have won that. I should have won that. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. It's rigged. Someone screwed me out of it. So she's never let it go. So I wouldn't be really surprised if this didn't happen, if he didn't end up buying enough votes. I don't mean buying votes as in cheating, but I mean putting enough advertisement out there to where he is monopolized. I listened to Tim Pool tell that story earlier today, and he talked about the fact that the way he can buy himself in would be to pay big amounts of money for a commercial. Let's say a commercial normally goes for $20,000 and he says, well, I'll do it for 30. Then the little guy or Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or anyone else who's trying to buy the same political ads they're going to go in and say, well, how much? They're going to say 40,000. They're going to say, well, last time it was 20,000. Well, yes, because capitalism, this is the scary part of capitalism, but it's true. He can up the ante to where he can pretty much put them all out of business. And that's always been the issue with major corporations that have that kind of power. That's why we've always wanted to make sure that they're not in charge of, so they don't have too much power. That's where Facebook and Google and YouTube here and all these different ones, that's why they're afraid and they want to break them up, is because of how powerful they are. And true interference in elections has been happening. I mean, if you want to look, just look at the DNC and what they've been doing in the last couple months. I mean, they're trying to force Bernie out. They hate him. They're afraid of him worse than I think than Trump. Because Donald Trump, at least he's going to give the corporate guys an opportunity, where Bernie's flat out said, screw those guys, where they're going down first. So if you have a lot of skin in the game, Bernie is not your man. I don't know what he would do, if he would tank the economy or if he would do whatever, but his math's not the greatest. And talking about giving free money out, I know that it may even be an old argument, but giving free money out and free healthcare and college debts and all that stuff, man, that's a lot of money where people today in their IRAs and in their retirement accounts, they're doing very well. And so they would be afraid to lose that. Well, imagine a guy whose entire career is based off of our market right now. He's not going to vote for anyone but Trump, especially not Bernie, because if Bernie gets in there and he does do that, then that guy's out of a job and possibly out of a retirement and a home. So the smart bet when it comes to the economy is going to be Trump. And that's why they're so afraid of Bernie coming in and just ruining the whole thing. I don't believe for 1 second Bernie's going to be able to beat Donald Trump, but if he did, anything could happen. Dude, Trump won the last time. We didn't think that was going to happen, but it happened. So if Bernie ends up getting in, I mean, he might be the first assassinated president in a long time, just corporate interest. Like I said, at least Trump, they knew they could negotiate with him for their interests, as opposed to have them just completely stripped away or just go without. So now it leaves us with a few choices. I guess we're going to see what happens in the Democratic Party, see what direction they decide to go, and then she'll have to go up against Trump and see what happens there. But all of the polling is saying that Trump's going to win. And the economy is doing so well, and his rallies and his base, and he's earning the black voters and some of the minority voters due to his policies and bringing back the jobs to those communities. My wife asked me today when we did our taxes here is if I saw a difference, and I actually made more money this year, and I actually paid what I paid last year in taxes almost to the dollar. Like I think I made $10,000 or $15,000 more this year than I did last year. But even my state taxes, weirdly enough, I think last year I got a few $100s back. This year it's not much, but we paid almost the same amount of taxes for the 2 years. I didn't get a bigger refund this year, but file any more deductions. Basically, the way it worked was I paid the same amount in taxes this year than I did last year, but I made more money. So net gain to our family. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that's Trump. I don't know if that's whatever. But the economy is good, and I'm in sales. So having sales is, that's a big deal. That helps out your income when the economy is strong, because people do tend to make more purchases. They don't need as much time to think about what they're purchasing because of their budget. They're thinking about what to purchase because is it the right purchase? And so if you're a salesperson, that's the only obstacle you have to overcome, then it's up to you. But when you're trying to fight dollars, that's a rough one, because your kids got to eat too. This is just one man's opinion coming at you. I wanted to do a little segment today because I'd been away from it for a while and I'd been really busy. So there hasn't been a lot going on, like I said, with politics and some of the news, but I figured I'd give a quick update and in between house chores. And I didn't get my podcast done this week either. I never even made arrangements. I've got a couple people that I've got on the line, I think possibly for next week. And so I'd like to have them on and talk to them. And I've got a few that are really neat. They're fun stories. Some of them are outlaws. I mean, just flat out, they did illegal shit. You know what I mean? Just totally illegal. But I think I might have them on. We might tell some stories together and talk about some of that stuff on my Shenanigans podcast. So thanks, you guys, for watching. Keep checking out Independent Nightly News and all of the different segments that I have. And I'll put up as much as I can. Like I said, I've got a full-time job, so it's been super busy for me lately. But I'll get to making as many of these videos as I can. Thanks, you guys. Subscribe. Well, it's just one man's opinion, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. Bye.